You guys want to hit a book talk? That's your in. Just use the protein to bring in the women who want to be chased.
We did not go up from there.
Happy holidays, guys.
Grapes do not belong in chicken salad.
That is where we differ. Not only on our opinions about books, but also chicken salad, apparently.
What the fuck was that? I got a new flavor.
Oh,
Mhm.
nice. It looks kind of like a Mounds or an Almond Joy.
Mm. Coconut, caramel, and almond.
Close.
Mm-hmm.
Close to an Almond Joy then.
Mm-hmm.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Just so you know, I got one of my coworkers to start eating the Bear Bells and he loves them.
Well, this was a brand new flavor. I could only get it from them directly,
Mm.
but I really wanted to try it because obviously it sounded
Hmm.
good. And so they shipped it to me. And
Hmm.
honestly, I might just buy it from them from now on
Yeah.
because like I've bought the big boxes like this,
Hmm.
like they're all like, big boxes. They're all the same. They got the same amount of bars in them, blah blah blah.
Hmm.
I bought them from Amazon, I bought them from Walmart, I bought them, wherever. And I think I bought them on TikTok. And I would say about at least 80 to 90% of the time, the boxes like basically explode while they're being shipped.
Mm.
Like, so I have bars fucking everywhere when I open the box. And straight from the company, actually, I'll show you.
Oh shit.
Straight from the company, they send it in the insulated thing with ice packs and shit, and nothing melts
Oh
because
damn.
it's chocolate. And I was like, oh, it's fucking amazing. I'm gonna do that from now on. And everything was intact and like beautifully wrapped. And like, I was like, oh, same price. Like, actually, I got it on sale. So,
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Damn. You love
Right.
when a company packages things nicely.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're not sponsored by fucking anybody. We just eat all these things all the time.
Bear
But we,
Bells.
we wouldn't be mad.
Yeah. As said, I buy your shit,
Bear Bells and Quest, that's all we ask.
Yeah.
They're literally who keeps us going on a daily fucking
Yeah.
basis at this
So
point.
I've been really into the Rise protein lately. Quest
Yeah,
still too, and all my Quest products. But the Rise protein powder mixes up like
that's what you were saying.
beautifully. Mm, yeah. There's no like I'm sitting here shaking it for 5 years.
Who knew that we would be protein experts? For two girls who really don't go to the gym but needed to live.
Well, if I want my body to, function, welcome to being,
And I deliver for a living and I need to function during the day. So look at
yeah.
that. Used for other things.
Yeah, that's probably why they won't sponsor us because we're not gym buddies, but I need to function too.
I don't think that's the only reason, Ariel.
Yeah.
We
What do you
can try.
mean? What do you mean, Crystal?
I
What do
don't
you
know.
mean?
Maybe they don't want to be associated with Dick.
Dick's got to eat protein too.
You know what? You need the
I
protein
eat
to ride
dick.
that
I
dick.
eat exactly. Exactly.
Eat Quest and Bear Bells and drink Rise protein to ride that dick the best way
And then you might be
possible.
able to catch that motorcycle man or masked man, whichever
You want to
is
be
your
chased in
fancy.
the woods by three masked men? You
You
need
need to eat
protein.
your protein.
I mean, that could be their new marketing thing. You guys want to hit a book talk? That's your in. Just use
Mm.
the protein to bring in the women who want to be chased.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I just want to survive. I just want to survive, man.
Mm,
Are you eating sour cream?
no. I'm eating ice cream.
Okay. I mean,
Not the same thing, first of all.
no. It looks like a sour cream container.
Oh, no,
Hmm.
it's an ice cream container.
Teach their own, both ways. This tastes like a
It
dessert.
looks good.
This is good. 20 grams of protein, only 2 grams of sugar. Sign me up.
Well, you did sign yourself up because you bought them.
I did. I actually also bought pumpkin spice ones for Joey,
Oh yeah.
and but they were out of stock, so they were like, "You lose." That sucked, but they weren't mine, so less care. Not a pumpkin spice
Oh,
girl. Mhm.
I'm not a pumpkin spice girly either, to be honest.
I would
The
try
only,
whatever,
yeah,
but like Joey's been on a really big asparagus kick lately.
yeah, I like
Um,
asparagus.
yeah, no, yeah, but I want green beans with my steak, not
Mm,
asparagus. But he's been on an asparagus kick and he just wants asparagus. So I made these like oven crisped asparagus last night. And of course, I ate a few while I was, making them and plating them.
yeah,
But I still got my green beans with my steak. Balance.
yeah.
Uh, you know. So how are you?
Fine. My ankle feels better, but it's definitely bruised on like the outside. Um, I didn't want to get up.
I also obviously did not want to get
I'm
up.
so aware.
So it's winding down to that end of the year. I'm going to warn you. I don't know what the fuck we read today. I don't know if you felt the same way. Okay.
Yeah. It
What?
wasn't even my choice.
Nope. No, this is my job, my responsibility. Usually it's Crystal that brings us these books, but no, it's me. But
So,
before we even get into that, um, after some reflection and starting to edit last week's episode where we discussed stalking Christmas, I partially wonder if I was a bit too hasty rating it mid-tier. I'm sticking with my rating for now.
okay.
But I want to clarify that if the book had been longer and more fleshed out, that it could have been a much higher rated read for me. And I didn't really talk about that last week because I was so, what the fuck was that? And I just could not see past my nose. But the character of Nick was so fucking fun to watch have a mental breakdown throughout and go from seasoned serial killer to, wait, why am I changing my habits? And that part was great, but it was so quick because it was a shorter book. It was like basically
Hmm.
novella length, a long novella length. So if it had properly been fleshed out more and we could have given Nick his chance to shine, it would have been pretty great for me. But I think, like I said, my brain was
Yeah.
just too full of whiplash.
Hmm.
So just wanted to take a moment to clarify
Reflect.
my thoughts. Yeah.
Got it.
But this week, however, I don't think that I'm going to have a reflection after. I think I've had enough time to digest. It's just, this one's just a what the fuck.
You're so funny.
We read The Other Reindeer by Rebekah Margaret Doss this week. And this book is a shifter. romance, and it is a why choose.
Mhm. Mhm. Like,
So go,
why did Ariel
why
choose
did
this
I
book?
choose this book? Yes. But on paper, shifter,
Perfect.
why
Yeah.
choose reindeer? I don't think I really went past that.
So, we have found that sometimes when Ariel decides to look for a book, she simply reads either the description half the time or
Or picks up keywords from it.
sees the title and goes, actually, yeah, that sounds good. Um, and then we end up here.
Sometimes I catch keywords and I'm like, oh, why choose sounds great. Shifter, why sounds great.
Sure. Um, I would like everyone to remember the kill the librarian fiasco. Okay. So I just,
Okay, what about Ghosts of Halloween, Crystal?
that is true. But I also
We've
read,
had a lot of misses this year.
yo.
Okay,
Anyways,
yeah. Hmm.
so
So, right off the bat, the dedication to this book is to those who don't care if there are grapes in their chicken salads. And this should have been my sign. It should have been my glaring stop sign that maybe this book isn't for me in the first place. Just right on the first page. Because what the fuck? No, grapes do not belong in chicken salad. I mean, honestly, you can put anything in chicken salad. I'm honestly going to eat anything probably in chicken salad. But if you feel that strongly about grapes and chicken salad that you're dedicating a book to it, I feel like we might be on different wavelengths because I don't think I would go out of my way to put grapes in a chicken salad. You do you, but maybe I'm putting too much thought into this dedication, but
how do you feel about cranberries in a chicken salad?
I don't think
Like
fruit.
dried
Yeah,
cranberries.
I will eat anything in a chicken salad. I've never met a chicken salad I didn't like. Chicken and mayo with stuff, sign me up. But I don't think fruit belongs in chicken salad.
Okay, so I actually really enjoy some fruit in a chicken salad, and that is simply because it gives a little bit of a different taste to it. I like,
I like seeds in a chicken salad or like things like that, but fruit.
well, that is where we differ. Not only on our opinions about books, but also chicken salad, apparently.
I just feel like that's just such a waste of a
Have you
chicken
had
salad.
it? It's not a waste. It just adds a
I
little
don't know.
extra.
I don't know. I like putting a lot of vegetables and flavor in my chicken salad.
Then again, I'm also a bitch who doesn't eat eggs, so
And lots of people put eggs in their chicken salad.
oh God. That's why I don't eat potato salad.
I fucking love potato salad.
Ugh.
Oh,
It's
love
the
potato salad.
eggs.
Love me.
And I like
Which is
macaroni salad, but it
hilarious.
has
I
to
love
be
macaroni
macaroni.
salad too.
It has to be macaroni salad without the eggs, though.
Which is hilarious because I'm not really a mayonnaise person,
Hmm.
but I love the freaking salads. I made us like a Big Mac salad a little while back. And so thankfully it was like Thousand Island dressing instead of mayonnaise. But
Hmm.
oh, so good. So fucking good. I need to do something like that again. Maybe I'll make a cheeseburger salad. Well, because the pasta was like the buns, and then you just put whatever you want in the.
So this week,
It's not about food, though it should be because, like I said, we kind of read a wonky book. There is also a note that there is mention of a traumatic birthing event with the loss of life. It's not the main female character, so if that is a trigger for you, proceed with caution. Moving on. This book is about Olive, and only Olive, not all of the other reindeer. Olive has found herself in a predicament after making a giant mess of the storage area for a food stall she's supposed to be helping set up for the reindeer games. Which, again, in theory, cool beans. She was trying to do a good luck dance for the games. Again, second sign. And she's clumsy as fuck. And everything just kind of fumbled from there. And next thing she knew, all the shelves were coming down around her. Not good. Her friend Finn finds her and tells her to get the boxes of chews that she came to the storage shed for, and he'll help clean up because he does not want to be stuck babysitting her when the rut happens. There is this great rut after the reindeer games, and this is his chance to find a mate outside of the Rudolph herd, his chance to see the others from other herds and possibly join one of those herds. Olive is not interested in the games or the rut for herself, but she does want what's best for her best friend and thanks him for helping her and tells him that she knows where Elkie keeps the extra sleigh cubes and she'll put some aside for him. He's like, hold up, the magical infused cubes? Olive's like, yeah, it's the least she can do. It helps with stamina, heightens the pheromones to locate mates. He's like, it enhances everything. He's super stoked. Their conversation is interrupted by a gong sounding, which is signaling that the reindeer games are officially starting, which means that the booths are officially opening, and Elkie is going to kill Olive for being late. So she rushes to the booth, apologizes to Elkie, who says that at least they haven't run out of chews yet. Olive is helping out at the booth while her father tries to compete in the games to make the sleigh team because one member from each of the reindeer families every 300 years get to compete for that one spot on the sleigh team for, Santa's sleigh. Elkie has Olive head to the front to help with customers while Elkie works on the cubes, but tells Olive to please try to pay attention and avoid being clumsy. It only takes a few hours to get the line down, but Olive's pretty happy that she's able to successfully help out without any disasters happening. Apparently, she's pretty accident prone. Elkie calls her to the back and asks, before she goes on break, to please go to the storage shed that's closer to Olive's cabin and get some of the real cubes that they will need for after the event. They sell their own version of the cubes as treats for people, but they need the real ones also prepared and ready for the participants. Olive makes her way toward the shed, getting lost in her own head on the way, thinking about the chosen ones who will fly the sleigh and all that, and she isn't paying attention. So she literally runs into her cousin Hannah and runs over her foot with her cart that she's pulling to bring the stuff back with. Hannah is not happy about this, and she definitely does not seem like a very nice person and is instantly calling Olive names because apparently Olive made Hannah lose track of the males that she was tracking. And Olive does point out that usually males don't run away if they want to mate someone.
That one right there.
Yeah. Hannah calls her a cow. And then there's a voice that's like, wow, they didn't know that name calling was still done outside of elementary school. And Olive sees three ridiculously handsome men. Hannah tries to backpedal, saying, no, that's just a cute nickname for Olive. Olive is shocked to see that these men seem to have antlers still in their human forms. Typically, when they shift from their animal form, the antlers disappear or significantly reduce. But these guys have like full racks, full racks. I'm just kidding.
Ariel has a full rack.
You have a full rack
I
basically
do,
now,
yeah,
too.
I
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
One of the men chuckles and tells Olive that her eyes are down here because she's just mesmerized. And asks if her nickname really is Cow. Olive apologizes, snapping out of it, and says that Hannah definitely calls her that often enough, and says that it's just that she's never seen, they're just so massive. One winks at Olive, saying that she sure knows how to stroke an ego.
Bet you she knows how to stroke something else. Sorry.
Hmm. Hannah smacks her and says she can't talk to them like that. They're basically royalty. Olive looks at her and says that they don't have royalty. And then looks at them and asks if they're related to Nick, because that must be what she means. And the one who winks and says that she must be in Rudolph because he points to the other men that he's with. They would have mentioned her before. And she's definitely not Cupid. Hannah steps in front of Olive, saying, "Don't worry about that. That's just Olive. She's a part of Rudolph, but she was just leaving. That's why she ran her over with her cart. She's bright, but clumsy." Olive's like, lovely. Everyone says that about her. And she just mumbles out she has to get going and she hopes everyone has a great time with everything as Hannah tries to shove her away. But the cart is not budging. It looks like it got stuck in a crack, and Maxim is what Hannah called the winker, helps her get it unstuck. And another of them comes forward and says that his name is Sasha and says that they aren't royalty. Hannah once again tries to step in between them, and Maxim asks what her problem is. Hannah just says that Olive is being rude, that the four of them were going to have a nice time, and Olive's crashing it. Sasha says to Hannah that she bombarded them and they gave her their answer. They went their separate ways. The third man, who Maxim calls Anzor, comes over to help Maxim get the cart going and tells Olive to lead the way. Hannah screeches that she's going to get Elkie. Olive is very confused. She's kind of like, she really does need to get going. If they could just move out of the way, she can get the cart back. Maxim asks if she needs an escort because he thinks she needs an escort. They don't want her to get stuck again, after all. Olive says she doesn't think so. And Anzor says she does. They even got Hannah to go away for her. See, they're so helpful and useful. They ask where they're supposed to be going with the cart as they start to push it, and Olive says wherever they're supposed to be going, all dazed. And they say, "Oh, so she's going to the rut registration. Why would she need a cart there?" Olive says, "No, she wasn't going there. Fine, follow her." And Anzor asks if she's already registered then, if she's not going to the booth. Olive says she's just trying to get to the cabin, and she walks faster and tries to ignore them and her urge to lick their antlers. She gets to the cabin and heads to the back to go to the shed and tries to get open as quickly as possible. Anzor's like, "Wait, are these sleigh cubes?" Sasha steps in, asking, "How does she have sleigh cubes?" Olive's like, she doesn't think she can answer that. To please get out. She doesn't want to get in trouble, but the panic in her voice just has Maxim also coming in and pulling the storage shed closed behind him. So now they're all in the shed. And Olive tells them that they need to go. Please don't tell anyone about what's there or where it is. And Sasha says they're not going to tell anyone. They're just curious. Olive's starting to panic at the fact that she's been gone a while. Elkie's going to be upset. And if she finds out people know where the cubes are, it's going to be bad. And she's just panicking and panicking. And she feels her ears start to shift. And then she's freaking out and trying to calm down. But then her antlers pop and Maxim is looking at her concerned, asking if she's okay. And she looks up and she sees Anzor touching one of the containers on the shelves. Oh, and if he opened it, she's going to be in so much trouble. Elkie would have to tell Nick, and maybe she's going to get kicked out of Rudolph, and she would be sent to one of the free herds. And Maxim just says shit, trying to get the others' attention as Olive fully shifts. Maxim put his hands out towards her, telling her that she's just panicking, which causes her to rear back, and there's not enough room for all of them in the shed to maneuver on her all fours in her deer form, and she just backs into a shelving unit. And Sasha quickly goes to the shelf to stabilize it before it knocks over. And then all of a sudden, heat rushes out of Olive's body until she's glowing and light bursts out of her in a shockwave and she slops to the floor.
So everything before that, all it reminds me of is have you ever seen those deer videos on TikTok? Of just
When they're
like,
like babies.
no,
Yeah.
not even just
Oh.
babies, just adult deers doing dumb deer stuff where they're
Yeah.
just like running and like panicking. Or like when someone comes up and there's just a deer and they get scared, it's like, oh, and then they fucking like, that's all
Yeah.
I could think of the whole
But for real, it
time.
was, but everyone treated her like she was the crazy one.
Right? Damn.
But do I have a clue of what's happening right now? No,
No, and you described it, still not a clue.
still not a clue. I guess I'm just going to be here for the ride now, and now you're just here for the ride. And if it sounds disjointed, that's
Because
because
it is.
that's how it was reading it. Yeah. Yeah.
Happy holidays, guys.
Happy holidays.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
Now you may understand my apology tour at the beginning of maybe I spoke too soon last week. We did not go up from there. So, Olive panicked. She lost her shift, and it knocked her out for a few minutes, which apparently this is not the first time that that's happened. So she just lays there on the floor in a pitiful pile, playing dead, hoping that they'll just leave. Because now that she's dead, bye.
Relatable. I too would also, if I went through all that, I would also just lay on the floor and pretend
I mean, yeah, fair,
I too would also just pretend I was dead.
fair. Maxim tells her, amused sounding, that she forgot to hold her breath. You know, she's gonna be dead. She internally curses herself, like, "Ha, rats, got me again."
What are you, 80? Oh, rats.
Anzor tells her that he'll get her a puppy and then they can practice together playing dead.
What?
I don't even get it.
I don't get it either. What does that have to do with anything?
Because she's playing dead and he's going to
Like,
get her a puppy so they can learn together. It was dumb and random. Yeah. Olive opens her eyes to glare at them. Sasha tells her that maybe she should shift back. They have some questions for her. Olive shakes her head. There's no way she's going to tell them about her abnormal descent gift. And Maxim asks if she's stuck or if she's just displaying for them. So at that,
hmm.
and Maxim looking her up and down, telling her she has a modest rack, she shifts back.
Ariel, you have a modest rack.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So once she's back, Maxim tells her that she never mentioned if she was registered for the rut. And he pulls her close to his body, and she can't help but reach and touch his antlers, which causes him to kiss her, and she basically like jumps him like a spider monkey. Yes, this is all going in this order how this happened. And Anzor says, not in the shed.
Why not?
You're right. Olive just pulls back and says, big antler energy. Sasha says, quick question, what's big antler energy?
I bet you it's the same as big dick energy. Literally, that's
Basically.
all it is.
Yeah.
But we're reindeers, so
Yeah, basically. She's like, basically, since they showed up all like that, she's been short circuiting and she doesn't know what's going on. She pulls herself off of Maxim, takes some breaths, and tries to clear the fog and turns on them, telling them they have to go and to pretend that they never saw the shed and what's in it. She's going to be in so much trouble. Sasha says that they wouldn't do anything detrimental to her. She's just like, great, go. Thanks for that. You can leave now. And tells Maxim it was nice kissing him. Good luck with the games. And she pushes them out the door. She locates the cart once again and goes to grab some cubes. And she's trying to figure out which ones are the real ones and which one are the fake ones because they're all now glowing and sparkly and they all look the exact same. And she is freaking out because they're all shimmering. She tries to panic again. She tries to breathe because she cannot lose her shift again. She needs to de-shimmer the replicas. She doesn't know how she's going to do that. She needs to de-shimmer them. She doesn't know how she's going to do that, but it's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. She collects 12 cases, puts them out on the counter when the door opens, and Maxim steps back inside with Sasha and Anzor close behind, saying they decided they didn't want to wait. Sasha asks once again if she's registered for the rut. Olive says no. They ask if she wants to register. She says no. They ask if it's because she's already in a relationship. She says no. She's panicking over here, and they're like, rut, rut, rut. Anzor says that they choose her. Olive's brain starts to short circuit.
My
And
brain started to short circuit.
yeah, she says sugar. She needs sugar for the cubes. Maxim whispers not to panic, one thing at a time. Olive says, okay, she needs to add powdered sugar to the sleigh cubes. She needs to get the cart loaded. She needs to return to the food stall. Anzor brushes his fingers along Olive's hands as everyone gets to work, saying that Maxim should have shared. And then he lifts her hand and licks it. And Olive tells him that's not sanitary. But Anzor says that if you lick it, it's yours. Maxim groans and says they're not children. Olive can't help
Well,
but think she
then,
does
okay.
want to lick them. Yeah, definitely their antlers, especially with how close Anzor is getting to her. And they're all trying to sugar the cubes, and then Anzor is kissing her, and she feels other hands touching her, and she's confused by that for a second until the door opens and she hears Finn say, "Oh." Finn looks confused, disgusted, angry, annoyed, and amused all at once. He asks who the hell they are and why they're there. Maxim says, better question, who's he? Finn says that Elke sent him, talking to Olive, and he didn't even know the shed was even there. Hannah came screeching in, and Elke sent Finn after Olive. Olive tries to tell Finn it's not what it looks like. Sasha asks if Finn is the reason why she didn't register for the rut. Finn's confused, saying he's registered. Why would he stop her? Because they're all fucking stupid in this book. And he says, oh, looking around at all of them, and asks Olive how it is that she didn't even register, has refused to register even, and yet she's managed to find 3 mates just going to the food shed. He tells Maxim and the others that he has never chased after Olive. She's just his friend. They've been friends forever, but he knows how it goes with mates when they're found and things are forming. So he's going to go, but he does know that Olive is oblivious. Just as Olive asks, what did he mean by mates? Finn just smiles at her and says that he can buy her maybe 20 minutes to be able to return the cart. And he would say that if someone were to talk to Elke when the cubes are brought in, she's probably let Olive skip work for a couple days. And then he leaves. Olive's blinky staring, confused at the men. And Sasha says, mates, yes. That they came back to ask if she would accept the mating, that they found her and hope she realized the pull. Olive's very confused and doesn't want to believe any of this is possible and tells them that she's sure they're all fabulous and all, but they're probably wrong. Maxim wants to know how they could be wrong. She says, obviously, they're confused and they're confusing her with someone else. They say, so she thinks that they got away from Hannah and then chose to circle back near her because of compulsion and smell that led to Olive, but somehow that they're wrong. Olive says, that sounds legit. Sasha looks at her and says, so she has no attraction to them. Just as Olive stops herself from petting him and says, they're definitely attractive. He says that's not what he meant. And she says she knows and says that Finn said she had 20 minutes. She needs to get this food to the stall, and they all made a mess, and that's what she needs to focus on. Sasha says they'll clean it later. She's trying to get the cart ready. She's going in circles in her head. Maxim calls her out on it. And They all just take a breath and focus on getting the cart out the door and on their way. The men take the cart, leading it, asking which way to the food booth, and Olive says that they wouldn't have to ask if they just let her do the cart. But Sasha says they're just escorting her. Olive is just thinking how she needs to plead with Elkie not to fire her and tell her dad because her dad needs to be focused on trying for the slate team. Elkie is waiting out the back door of the booth when they arrive and sees them saying thank goodness, asking what happened, and saying she needed those a while ago. The men step right up, saying they apologize for the delay. They ran into Olive and Hannah as Hannah was harassing her and the cart was stuck, but they helped her and escorted her back safely. Elkie thanks them and tells Olive that she can go relieve the person on the register. The men don't leave, and Elkie asks if she can help them, not sounding very friendly. And Sasha steps up and introduces himself, saying he is Sasha from Dasher, points to Maxim, saying he's from Cupid, and then points to Anzor, saying that he's Vixen. Elkie introduces herself and says that they met Olive and says now they can go. Sasha says that they stayed with Olive because she's their mate. Elkie sits down on the step and looks at Olive, saying that her dad didn't tell her what to do if she found a mate while she was working there. She can't make her work when she found mates, but she does need help. Olive says that's okay, that they're just confused. She promised to help Elkie, and she's going to. Elkie laughs, saying Olive hasn't been able to stop looking at them. They're not confused. Their scents have already started to mingle. Maxim offers to send a couple workers to replace Elkie so that Olive can have a few days off. And Elkie sighs and nods and says that that would be good. Sasha suggests that they can go ask for help from his sister's booth, and they all go walk towards the booth. Olive asking if they're planning on joining the rut only or if they also signed up for the games. Maxim says, well, on that subject, was there a reason she hadn't signed up for the rut? And she says she asked first. And they say they'll talk about it all after the smoothie booth. But, like, they're just children. Like, I want to know how old they are because it was weird. They're just children. I don't know. Anyway, they go to the booth and they introduce her to Grace and all that jazz and ask for Grace for extra workers. But Olive's very like, well, she's sure she can go back and work. There's no reason Grace has to be shorted. And the men pull her aside and asks, does she not want to spend time with them? She does say that they're coming on too strong and she's getting a little panicky. They stop, give her some distance, and Anzor says that he's gonna get some training in and apologizes, saying he got carried away. He was excited about meeting his mate. They could take her back. And she says that she already feels like she's being a disappointment to them, but her brain doesn't even process what she's doing, and she tries to grab Anzor as he tries to walk away. And she tells them that she didn't answer Maxim's question. And they all turn and look at her. And she tells them that she never expected to find a mate or mates. She, in fact, actively avoided it. They ask if she's rejecting them. She says no, but she was promised a smoothie, which again doesn't even answer the question. So I don't know, whatever. So they go back to the booth, get smoothies, and Grace agrees to send people from her booth. Bada bing, great. And they all sit down with their smoothies.
Bada bing, great.
Yeah, yeah. Anywho, Olive takes a deep breath and says she didn't mean to insult them, that she just didn't think she'd have mates because she didn't want one. But she does feel the unexplainable urge to be near them. She just doesn't feel like becoming a disappointment to them and proving that she'd be a disappointment to them. But being mates is new. She's just gotta try. And Maxim says that they're sorry for coming on too strong. And they all collectively take a breath and seem to take a fresh start and agree to ease in. And Sasha asks Olive, so she's in Rudolph, and Olive says yes, and asks how they can all be friends from different places. They all explain they went to school together, and they're all prodigies, direct descendants, and they retain special talents of their original descendants, and that they've kept up with each other by having their homes be at the corners of each of their territories so that they're like right there. And they tell her that they were registered for both the games and the rut, but Anzor says he'll back out of the games because their mate does not deserve to have them all be gone and one of them should be home with her. And that they only need one of them to make it for the games and all of them can be together because originally they signed up so that they could all be together, but now if they're all mates, there you go. And we learn that Anzor being from Vixen means like he has the talent of causing chaos and distractions and illusions, and he shows her by having three of him appear and using all their hands to touch her. And I feel like that could have been utilized way better in this book. Alas, it was not. And Maxim is from Cupid, so, he's got all the feels and all that. And Sasha is from Dasher, so he has speed. They'll talk about this over their smoothies. But then Hannah comes up and finds them and starts screeching at Olive, asking why is she still with them? And Olive tucks her head into Sasha's chest and tries to pretend that Hannah's not there. And Sasha says that they'll take care of it. Don't worry. And they all stand up to face her. Olive, which Sasha says that they'll take care of it, but then Olive faces off with her. Uh, Whatever. Olive tells her that Elke gave her a couple days off, and Hannah says that she must have screwed up bad then and tells the men that Olive's always causing a mess. Maxim says that they asked Elke to excuse Olive, and that they should probably thank Hannah for all of it, and that they don't even have to participate in the rut now. Hannah's confused, asking why. Because she's still registered. They should still want to fight off anyone interested in her. Anzor says this is ridiculous, that it's nice that she thinks so highly of them to consider mating, but their bond connects them to their mate, and not to talk down to Olive again. Hannah's just like, what? And then looks at Olive saying, she cannot take her mates. Sasha tells Hannah that's enough. Olive is their mate, and they've all accepted it. She needs to respect fated mates. Hannah screeches, at the top of my lungs, what's going on? That Olive is a cow, and she's
Olive,
defective.
I'm sorry. It's just so funny. Olive is a cow. No, she's a deer.
That she shouldn't even be allowed in Rudolph. And asks the men if their mate told them that she's the reason her mother's dead. Olive is stricken and says she didn't mean for it to happen. And Hannah says, but she did, didn't she? Her mom is dead because of her malfunction. Olive tries to leave before the sobs start to break, and Maxim asks where she's going. She just says she's sorry. That she tried to say she shouldn't have mates. And as she's leaving, Hannah claps and giggles as Sasha speeds in front of her, saying, no third act breakup. And then grabs his mate and takes her away from Hannah as fast as possible. Hannah yells, saying that she's going to tell their father, even though I thought she was the cousin, but I don't know. Anyway, Sasha takes Olive to a cabin and starts to pace, asking her to tell him that he misunderstood what Hannah said, as Maxim and Anzor make it through the door wheezing because they were trying to keep up with Sasha. Maxim looks at her and says that Hannah's not her cousin. Olive says no, not really, that their father has a harem of his own, and that Hannah's mom is one of their dad's group. Maxim's confused. Was Hannah's mom not a mother to her? Olive says no, that Fern is very much like Hannah, and the others have always treated her like one of their own, but not Hannah's mom. And it's common in a female harem for them all to be pregnant together. They were part of the second set of pregnancies, and everyone else had given birth a week or two before, and Olive was the only one left. She was causing complications for her mom. And when her mom finally went into labor, the cord had been wrapped around Olive's neck, and it was strangling her every time her mom had a contraction. And her mom's body would suddenly light up with a burst of light, And Sasha says, that's not anyone's fault. That happens sometimes. And Olive says, yeah, except her light kept ramping up, and the surge stressed her mother's body so much that she kept shifting forms and basically had a seizure, and they had to cut Olive out, and the stress was too much, and her mom's heart gave out 6 hours later. Maxim tells her that she did not murder her mother, Olive says, but it was her fault. And they say she didn't plan any of it. She didn't kill her. It was unfortunate and heartbreaking, but it's not her fault. They ask why Hannah has a problem with her. Like, she wasn't even able to remember any of that. She was a baby. Olive tells them that Hannah doesn't like her for the same reason Fern didn't like her mother, because Olive's father and all the other women originated from Blitzen.
All of the other rage. Sorry.
When Olive's mother is from Rudolph. And the family herd and where they live is determined by the strongest member with the strongest ties to their bloodline. And Olive's mother is a direct descendant of Rudolph. So they all had to live in Rudolph, which means Olive is a direct descendant of Rudolph. And they all say, then she's a prodigy. Like what, like them? Like what the heck? And then she says, no, she's not a prodigy. And accidents always happen around her. And her father agreed that she should keep it a secret. Which shame on her father, that no other Rudolph descendant glows like she does. She doesn't want to be part of the sleigh team. She doesn't want to be chased by potential mates. And Hannah doesn't like her because if it weren't for her mother, they'd all be in Blitzen. She's the only one who has ties to Rudolph, and technically they have higher statuses. So she just distances herself and calls Olive a cousin, which Olive doesn't mind because fuck Hannah.
Yeah.
Anzor says that he doesn't think he's ever heard of anyone glowing with their entire body. Even the current slave Rudolph can't do that. Olive says no, that her great grandfather can't do that. And they all look at her and say the current Rudolph is Olive's great grandfather. She says, yeah, it's her mom's grandfather. And she just asks to move on from this whole topic. And Sasha pulls Olive onto his lap.
Ariel is probably like, please, God, move on from this topic.
For real, though. Um, and he says that he doesn't think that the others are giving her the attention that she wants as Sasha kisses her, and then Anzor tries to pull her from Sasha's lap and takes off Olive's shirt and kisses her as she feels hands removing her pants. And Sasha hoists her over his shoulder as she grabs his antlers to hold on, and he zooms and tosses her onto a bed, and soon enough, the others trail behind him as he wham bam thank you ma'am pushes herself into her just like that. Just we're starting this off. And the others tease him about needing to slow down, not doing things Dasher style, or they'll have to take over when he finishes too early. And Anzor slides in next to Olive and starts playing with her clit, and she comes, and the whole room lights up with a blast. When Olive can talk again, she tries to tell them that that hasn't happened before. And she's still glowing, and Maxim says that they should see if she can do it again. And he teases her, kisses her, and then takes his place and takes his turn inside her. And soon enough, as she's saying, it's the best experiment ever. Light explodes out of her. And when she can talk again, she says, one more. And Anzor says no. Because she's slurring her words and not making much sense.
Yeah.
Because Maxim's Cupid worked a little too much magic into her. And she just, her words are all topsy-turvy. And Anzor just says that she needs to sleep off the Cupid charm first. When Olive wakes up, Sasha's just returning from collecting some of her belongings from her cabin, and she thanks him and they kiss, but Anzor says, no, 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 it's his turn. And she climbs on top of him, rides him, holding onto his antlers, and sure enough, when she comes, she makes the whole room blast with light again. She's enjoying snuggling up on the bed with Anzor until Maxim says it's time to go, that they have practice to attend, and that they're going to take turns spending the day with her. They learn that they can now communicate mentally with each other because they're bonded enough to do that in their head, and they go to one of the practice areas for the games. Sasha tells her that he and Maxim have to go practice, but they'll find her after. as soon as they can. She's going to stay with Anzor. Olive had fallen asleep while waiting, but was woken up to Maxim and Sasha coming back and Anzor asking what was going on because it seems like everyone around them is panicking. Apparently, they have to postpone everything for the moment because a bunch of people started acting hostile. Some people started shifting, some people started demanding their mates, some people started flickering like light bulbs, and Olive's confused. She's the only one that she knows of that glows, and that doesn't make any sense. And then Finn runs up yelling for her, saying that she's needed at the booth, that Elke sent him. There's a problem with the sugar cubes. And then Maxim whispers that she did have a burst of light in the shed with all the cubes in it. And Olive realizes that maybe that magic messed with the magic that was already in the cubes. Oh no. Olive starts to panic and she starts to glow. And Maxim tells her, putting her hands on her face, to calm down and spreads his magic into her to mellow her out, which does stop her panic, but she's still glowing and fidgety and on edge. She tells them that she's sorry. She did warn them that she probably wasn't the best mate. They argue with her, saying that they're just scared for her because she's freaking out. They need to go figure out what's going on. Maybe Elke will know how to fix it. People are all in chaos around them as they make their way to the booth. Anzor made mirrors of all the men. Again, what a waste. To keep a boundary around her so that no one would trample her. And then when they find Elke, she's super stressed out and says she doesn't understand that something happened with all the cubes, all of them. She doesn't know how to fix it or what even is wrong. She asks Olive if anyone knew about the shed, but then she says no. And she just says that Nick is on his way. And she has to figure out how to explain what's happened. That he doesn't even show up normally until the 9 replacements have been chosen at the end of the games. And Olive tells Elke that she'll go with her because it's her fault, that she panicked and lost her shift in the shed. Elke didn't even know that some of them were glowing. She's shocked, like around them. She just knew what she saw from the booth. And they all go to meet Nick and watch the sleigh come down. Nick leads them into a building. He calls Olive forward and asks her what happened because he really does see all, apparently, even though they weren't sleeping. They were just awake. And tells her that accidents happen, but they need to know what happened in order to try to fix it. So if you know everything, including who she is and what happened, why can't you just tell us what happened? Just saying.
Because that would be too easy.
Olive tells him that she was panicking because she points to her mates that they were in the secret shed and she had a burst of magic and she's pretty sure it hit all the sugar cubes because they were shimmering and they don't usually do that. Nick turns to his council and asks if they know what happened. The women say that given what they've been told about what's happening with the shifters, it matches, but whatever her emotions were at the time, bundled with the magic burst, created panic and lust. The only weird thing is the pulsing glows. The sleigh team is there, and Olive's great Gramps, who had called down and waved to her as she walked in, pipes up saying that they all know he has Rudolph's blood, and Olive has his, so she also has Rudolph's blood. So the council said that that would explain the glow. Nick asks if it's something that can be fixed, and they say absolutely. That getting the elixir to brew will take the rest of the day, but it will take 3 to 5 days for everyone to return as they were. Olive's worried about the timing in the games. The team needs to be swapped out for those who need it, but Nick says that he has not missed a year yet. The games are fun, but he has magic who can tell him who the best for his team will be without the games. The ladies say that they just need a little bit of Olive's blood for the elixir. They invite them to stay at the big house place that they're all that while everything's getting done. And they show them to their rooms. Anzor, ever the mischief maker, apparently convinces them all that they should go check out the sleigh that's been put in the barn and that they should try to break it in and have a good time with it. Yeah, even though the other 3 protest greatly, they all somehow end up there with a naked Olive and Anzor fucking her. And then Maxim takes his turn because she's ridiculously glowing. And Sasha's worried that they're all going to get caught, so he just scoops her up and zooms her back to the room. After they get cleaned up, they are interrupted by Olive's stomach growling, so they head to the kitchen and they bump into Olive's great-grandfather and 2 others of the sleigh team along the way who help them find the kitchen. The great-grandfather says that he heard that her dad was competing in the games this year, and Olive says that he was until she got them canceled. But one of the others says that it's just easier to let Nick do his magic thing anyways. But Olive says she doubts the community will see it that way. Another says that it'll be fine once they realize the rut hasn't been canceled. Nick calls them down in the morning to the arena, which is filled with shifters. They are going to administer the elixir because it's ready, and he releases it into the air, and it pours over everyone who is affected, and those that were start to fall asleep. Nick says that everything will return to normal soon, and tells everyone that's left that it will take a handful of days and that the games, because of that, have been canceled. But he will still honor the team replacement and that they will be drawn magically. He says he'd like to do that now so everyone can get their loved ones home and rested so that the Great Rut can still take place. And while everyone seemed pretty frustrated about the games, most were fine with the fact that the Rut was not canceled. Nick gets on with it and calls the blood of those who were supposed to take the place of those before and runs through the names, calling Dasher, and Sasha starts to shimmer. And he calls for Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, having them all shimmer, and Comet and Cupid, and Anzor glitters from Vixen and Maxim glitters from Cupid, and both of them are frustrated about it because they wanted to stay home with Olive, but then he calls Donder and Blitzen, and then he looks at Olive and says, Rudolph, with your glow so bright, won't you guide my sleigh those nights? And Olive starts to glow brighter than ever, and Olive just grumbles out that she hopes that his bed is never warm. And Nick just comes over and whispers to her that she deserves that spot for using his sleigh the night before, which, again, creepy AF. And weird. This whole thing was just weird. Just weird.
It's so funny because as you just describe everything, um, my brain is just short circuiting. I was like, I care about none of this. I didn't care about it when I read it. Don't care about it now.
Uh,
What did we read, Ariel?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah. He says that she cannot always hide in the shadows and that they deserve to know she's just as worthy as anyone else who tries out for his team. Anzor pipes up and says that he wants to pass on the Vixen thing, and Olive raises her hand to say the same thing when Hannah pushes her way out of the crowd, growling, What did she do at Olive? Nick says, Oh, yes, Hannah of Rudolph v. Blitzen. She is one naughty reindeer. Their dad trails behind Hannah, telling her to go back to her mother. Olive says that while they're politely declining spots, could she give hers to her dad? And Nick says that he can accept that, which, bro, you just made a big, whatever, whatever, whatever. And only if the dad brings his daughter with him to the north because Nick wants to teach her a thing or two about how to treat others. She can work in his toy shop. Hannah is outraged. Nick tells everyone that they're dismissed and that the Great Rut will commence the next day, which doesn't make any sense because he said it was going to take many days. So, what the fuck? I don't know, man.
Bitch, I don't know either.
I don't know. And anywho, Olive informs the men that they never did get around to unregistering for the rut, so she registered herself. So catch her if they can. And obviously they catch her. Sasha fucks her until she glows, and that's the end of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the end of that chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's your favorite, Ariel?
Um, Perhaps poor Elkie or Finn for just trying
I
to
love that. Perhaps.
just trying to hold shit together.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
How
Who's your
about
least favorite?
um who to pick?
Mm, such choices.
So many choices. Um, Hannah?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yes, she was a tool.
Yeah, we'll go with Hannah.
Yeah,
Good Lord.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Amazon gives us a 4.2, Goodreads a 4.0, and Storygraph a 3.68. Still really high.
Yeah, in my opinion too. What did you give it?
I gave it like a 2.5.
I gave it a 2,
Mm-hmm.
and I still feel like that might have been generous.
What was
Generous. I still feel like that might have been generous.
gibberish? Yeah. I It was a book.
It,
Mm.
was it?
Had words and everything.
It was also written very on the young side, I want to say. It
Yeah.
was very, very written, um, which is frustrating. It was very written, just very juvenile,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like bits and
like
pieces
more
were
so
funny.
than.
Like I don't think I've ever laughed so hard as
No,
since
but the
like picture.
writing
No, yeah, no, no, no,
and
no.
the, yeah.
No, yeah. I was just trying to give it a good point. Like when she was stumbling and all I could think of was those
Stumbling.
deer
Oh.
videos.
Yeah. Hmm.
But yeah.
It had
Potential.
potential and it just, the ideas were there.
The
The
execution was not.
execution was missing. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Survivability. Wait, peppers.
Mm.
I'm skipping.
Um, I'm gonna say poblano.
That's where I was gonna go. Dang. There's just so much potential for things, and it just
Hmm.
was sad.
Yeah,
Survivability. I would be fine, I think.
I think I would be
I
fine
don't
too.
know. I'd be fine, but
Um,
what a wild time that was.
yeah, I hurt my brain a little bit.
A little bit.
So I don't know if next week we're gonna get a do-over in the white shoes category or the weird category or both. Um, or if it'll be a do-over at all. Yeah. Next week, we are reading Scrooged for the Holidays by Kayla Gross. And we read, I think, was it Axe Marks the Spot, or is that the second one? We read a lumberjack one by her earlier this year, and we enjoyed it. And this is
X's
a
and
holiday
O's.
one. X's and O's. X's and the O's.
That was
Um,
was that our in-person one?
no,
No, don't listen to me.
no, it was not. We did the Valentine's ones, I think, in
Oh, that's
person.
right.
But
Anyways,
this is a MMMF paranormal holiday romance, and it might be a little harder on my end. We shall see because of the all the terms and all the stuff. We'll find out. So I like all this stuff, but explaining about it, we'll see. Greer Mallory doesn't believe in fate, magic, or Christmas miracles. She believes in money, power, and keeping her Ice Queen heart frozen solid. But when a snowstorm lands her in the hidden mountain town of Elysian Pines 3 nights before Christmas, she meets Malachi, Ramiel, and Samuel. That's going to be hard to say all throughout. 3 men who aren't just handsome, they are something otherworldly. As things heat up between them and visions of her past, present, and future grow impossible to ignore, Greer finds her Scrooge-like ways beginning to crack. But will her time in Elysian Pines be enough to thaw her cold exterior, or will she let herself stay frozen for good? So, Scrooge for the Holidays is a MMMF paranormal romance, but it's a she is the Scrooge. So, that's kind of cool.
I like this.
Yeah. So that part was kind of cool. Plus, we did like X's and O's when we read it last time.
We did, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So join us next week and
Yes.
see if we enjoy this one better.
Ooh.
Make sure to keep reading.
And keep it smutty. I'm gonna have to literally treat my fucking cats like
Oh, fuck.
raccoons.
My
What?
candle is upstairs. Do I need it? I don't know. Let's see if I have anything. Girl. I can use some chapstick, that's for sure.
I just can't with you.
One thing at a time. Hold on. Stop with the chapstick. All right. Um. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. Confetti, confetti, confetti. Where's the book I read? There it is. Um. Click it. Click it real good.
Oh my God.
I need another window into my soul. Oh, nope, not that. I said another window, ass fuck.
Oh, good Lord.
All right, see if I have any. No, I don't want to edit my activity. I just want to know if I have any thingies. You know, thingies. I don't think so. I guess I didn't highlight anything. That seems odd. Well, guess we're rolling with that. All right, I'm gonna move you here. Oh, no, I don't need that. What the fuck? Oh, well, that was convenient. All right. This is what I need. Ha ha ha. All right. Then I need you to be drive. Drive. Words. Oh, look at you. All right. Sweet deal. All right, so we're gonna bring you. No. Hate you. Hate you.
Hmm.
We're gonna bring you right here so I can't see myself and I can see Crystal. Haha. Like that, motherfucker. The motherfuckers ain't tell me nothing. I said, yeah. What's going on? Okay. Hello.
Wow. The
Try being inside my head.
mm-mm.
If you thought that was
Being inside mine is enough.
that there is tremension. There's tremension. Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.